One of the best parts about working with Iowa Realty through the home buying process is that we have access to experts and great partners to help you navigate the home buying process and the mortgage process. And I'm excited to be joined here today with Jason Froelich, the president of HomeServices Lending, to talk about exactly that, the mortgage process and interest rates.
Yeah.
They have been changing.
They have been changing and changing the right direction for the first time in a couple years.
Fantastic.
I'm super excited about it.
And those mortgage interest rates can be one of the most critical factors when it comes to buying a home.
Absolutely, and we've been getting some great news. Interest rates have come down considerably over the summer, and we're moving into the fall for the first time in a couple years, where rates are actually lower now than they were at the beginning of the year. So that's exciting.
How does the Fed make some of those decisions about changing the interest rates?
You know, the Fed, first of all, really only controls short-term interest rates, and mortgages are long-term, as we all know, but they're all interconnected, and the Fed's really after making sure that inflation gets under control, and I think we've all felt some inflation over the last few years, right? But they're also charged with making sure that employment's at a real high level, and as those numbers start to go ahead and get regulated a little bit, they're able to lower interest rates to go ahead and spur the economy on to get people buying houses. And so the Fed last week just lowered interest rates 50 basis points, which didn't mean rates came down 0.5%, but it is good news for mortgage rates.
So Jason, how does a decrease in the interest rate impact me as a home buyer?
Well, it's all about affordability, right? And affordability has been under a lot of pressure over the last couple of years as rates got into the 7% range. But now that we're in the low 6s and even high 5% range, for example, a $300,000 mortgage will be $250 to $300 less per month now than it was just back in May. So that's fantastic for homeowners.
Well, if I've been in the search for my new home, how does it impact my purchasing power?
Well, that's the other great thing too. It allows you to maybe see some more homes. And again, if we do the same math that we did from back in May, a $300,000 buyer now with rates as they've come down is now a $340,000 buyer. And so just gives you more homes to go ahead and look at a little bit higher price point.
That's a significant impact.
It is really, really big. And so we encourage people that if they've been in the home search process earlier this summer and got out of it, take another look.
It's time to come back in.
It sure is.
Jason, HomeServices Lending has a great new program you need to tell us more about.
Yeah, we call it the Competitive Edge. And Cassandra, it's a fantastic program that gets our buyers more ready than other buyers to go ahead and buy and finance.
And there's 3 key points you shared.
3 key points, right? So the first point is instead of just doing a standard pre-approval letter issued by one of our fantastic loan officers, we actually go ahead and fully credit underwrite these loans. And so we're issuing a pre-commitment letter instead of a credit letter. That provides a lot of assurance to real estate agents and to home sellers out there.
And this really is, like you shared, a competitive edge. As a home buyer, as a seller, you know you're going to get the deal done.
Well, and we're so sure that you're going to get it done that we actually put a $30,000 on-time closing guarantee on top of it as well. So that's the second component. And it's just a fantastic way to get your offer to stand out in a crowd.
Well, Jason, it is always wonderful to spend time with you. So much knowledge and insight to share through these processes, which again, can be some of the hardest that you do as a home buyer.
Yep. So the easiest way to get a hold of us is just to go to homeserviceslending.com. We've got a dozen loan officers here in the metro area, and they all do a fantastic job.
Yeah. Well, whether you're buying or refinancing, make sure you get a hold of HomeServices Lending. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.